Salute, salute. How's my mic sound? Salute, salute. Okay, okay. What's good with y'all? What's good with y'all today? So y'all see the title. Y'all see the title. Can you really be friends with someone you never met in person? So I'll be thinking about this. Me personally, I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure I could do that. Um, but this is 2023. You have this the social media, the time of social media generation. And you've heard stories about friendships starting on social media, even relationships. People find love on social media. Some people's even um, you know, found they were husband or wife on social media. Now, me personally, you see certain stories, but you don't see the whole. You don't see the whole story. Like we don't know how many of these relationships, friendships, how long they lasted. The trials and tribulations, because this social media thing is kind of new. So I guess only time will tell. But I'm old school. I'm from the old school, and I remember some people had pen pals. Remember some people had pen pals. Like they'll write each other and they'll create a bond or a friendship through letters. Some people, met each other on the phone, and they established relationships and bonds from just talking on the phone. Never met each other. So I mean, it's possible. It's possible. So that's the topic for today. If anybody know any uh, stories of anybody becoming friends, who's never met each other, and you know it went good or it went bad. You know what I'm saying? You always welcome to share. But yeah, man, that's the topic for today. That's the topic for today. And they got the thing called catfishing. You know what I'm saying? Some people, think they know somebody. They've been speaking to them for years, and then they finally meet in person, and the person doesn't even look like the person that they thought that they were speaking to, or it's not even is a totally different person, or this person may have shared the old photo. They may have put on some weight. They may have gotten older. So, like, do you really know a person? Like, if you don't meet them in person, do you really know the person? And how much could you really know about a person? You're only gonna know what they told you. So it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky. But yeah, that's the topic for today. That's the topic for today. Salute to everybody in the chat. Let's see who we got up in here. I'm trying to do a show every week. I might do more than one, but we're gonna start off like this. Last week was cool, but these are just test runs to see how it goes. How we're gonna have this format. What's gonna be the rules and regulations. How we're gonna move forward. But I try to stress no trolling and nothing disrespectful. If we on the panel, let people speak, no cutting each other off. Let a person finish their sentence, and no coming up here, playing around and all that, But these are test runs, you know what I'm saying? So I'll let people up now, and I'm just watching. So if you try to hit the link one day and you don't get up here, just know you was trying to do whatever you want. And I'll see you on the other page. For those who know, they know. For those who don't know, they don't know. But salute, Queen Kels is in the building. Oh, also, certain people have wrenches right now. Um, but once I get it down packed on, what I need from the mods and things of that nature, um, just let me know if you want to continue being a moderator wrench. I'll give out standard wrenches to people who frequent the page and you know the regulars. I'll start giving out standard wrenches, but as far as the moderator wrenches, if you want to have a moderator wrench, certain things that you're going to have to do, and if you can't do it, it's all good. I understand. Queen Cal, salute. Fragrance City is in the building. Bobby Ramos, salute. Virgo Views, I see you. Dirty Kenzo, salute. Reno Biz, my Taurus brother, is in the building. Lazy Days, salute. So y'all know I usually give shout outs to everybody, but that might not be the same over here. But the people who come through and support and all that, y'all already know. But yeah, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. Sharonda, salute. Lazy Day, salute. So as y'all know, this is my regular page. It's not a troll page. Y'all can call me KT, or anything like that. But as far as my other character, I'm not trying to really bring that energy over here. But salute to y'all. Uh, yeah, we ain't having none of the trolling over here and things of that nature. Red light, I see you. Salute, red light. Bobby Ramos. Reality, salute. Reality, I seen your cash app you sent to me, Reality. Let me make sure that was Reality. I seen it late. I'm pretty sure that was Reality. Hold on. Right, yes. Reality, appreciate the cash app. I seen it late. Um, I appreciate it. Sometimes I see my cash apps uh a day late, 2 days late. I don't know what's wrong with my alert. I'll be trying to have like an alert where it alerts me when I get a cash app, but I don't know what's going on. But I appreciate it. Salute. Aaron is in the building. Salute, Aaron. Jessica, I see you. Palado, salute. Virgo View, salute. A lot of people, salute. I appreciate y'all for supporting. A lot of people love the drama and the trolling and things of that nature. And it's cool. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? It's a time to have fun. It's a time, work hard, play hard. You know what they say, pause. And as we adults. So as adults, we know it's times to be serious and it's times to have fun. You can't be too serious and you can't have too much fun as adults. Now, as children do things, they make mistakes. This is how they learn. We also learn, but it's some things that we should know by, a certain age. We should know better because, once you reach a certain age, especially if you have children, you become a role model. Even some people, they say they don't want to be a role model, but as an adult, children look at us as role models. So this is how they learn what type of role to play. They model their role after us. So if they see adults cussing, carrying on, being disrespectful, carrying themselves a certain type of way, that's what they're going to emulate, because children learn from adults, whether you know it or not. They're always watching, they're always studying us. And then, it's all about the children, the babies, they're the future. So, if you want the generations to carry on, and we want this civilization to carry on, and your legacies and your lineages and your names to carry on, we have to set the precedent. I'm in Brown, salute. So I always say, man, when you see the youngins out there cutting up, carrying on, you can't blame them. You have to blame yourself, because this is where they learned it from. The babies are not born disrespectful. They're not born evil. They're not born heartless. These are things that they learn from the adults who influenced them. Mimster, salute. So y'all gotta remember, we was youngins one time. At a time, we was youngins, and some of us had a certain type of parent. We made our mistakes. Some of us are still a little, we're a little wild and all of that. But them morals, values, and principles that we learned came from adults who influenced us, whether it be your parents, your uncles and aunts, your teacher, a coach, the next door neighbor. But this social media thing is real different now. So the youth has more access to more information and things that we didn't even know. We started learning some stuff we didn't even know. But I always say, all praise to the Most High. Before I found my faith, I always wondered, how much can I get before I leave this earth? How much could I get? But then I realized I can't take nothing. I can't take none of this with me. So now I think, how much could I give? How much could I leave behind before I leave this planet, leave this earth? And the material things is cool and all of that. But at the end of the day, you can lose that. The people you leave these material things, they can lose it. They cannot cherish it. They can sell it. They could not appreciate it. So you could work your whole life to get these things to leave behind to your children or whoever, and they lose it in a couple of years, or their children lose it. But it's something that we can leave behind called morals, values, and principles. And once you instill that in a child, and they get an understanding of that when they become an adult, that's something that you can't take from them. And these are the things that build civilizations and keep civilizations prospering and functioning. And once we lose that, this is how empires fall, civilizations crumble. Everything is built on morals, values, and principles. But anyway, salute to y'all. I just had to do that. And I got a new feature. So I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try to play something. And if y'all can hear this music, just drop some fire in the chat. I'm gonna try something. There's a new feature on the StreamYard. It's not really new, but I wasn't messing with it. I just was trying it earlier. But all right, I'm gonna drop down and I'm gonna play some music. And if y'all hear it, if y'all hear the music, just drop some fire in the chat so I know it's working. All right, all right, all right. It works. It works. It works. I didn't even know you could turn up the volume. Appreciate that. You could turn up the volume. So all right. Now I can add music to the stream. Okay. Okay. Ask your bartender, salute, lazy days. I see you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So what's good with y'all today? Y'all got any questions, any comments? Not loud. I turned that one. I turned it up the highest I could turn it up. I'll work on it. I'll work on it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Y'all got any questions, any comments? Let a brother know. Let a brother know. So I'm trying to think of a way. I'm trying to think of different ways to go about doing having this page. Um, if I really don't know a certain person, I'm gonna have to leave up the screen because y'all know how it gets. What else? What else? Because y'all, we also know we're gonna have certain people over here trying to do certain things, probably watching from the bushes now. But I would not address that over here. I'll take it to the other page. I already have a couple of people over here uh, stealing pictures and stuff like that. Trying to you know do what they do. But it's all good. It's all good. I understand. Anything I put out there, it is what it is. Everything is calculated, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is calculated. But yeah, I'm gonna try to be as regular and normal over here as I could. But as I always tell you, you got to be careful on public platforms, especially platforms like this. When you put your personal information out there, whether it be anything, pictures of yourself, your kids, um, information, anything like that, there's always people watching, plotting. Some people, as which brings us to the topic. Some people start off as your online friends, but you really don't know them. And as soon as y'all have some type of fallout or disagreement, then they become your enemy, or they try to slander you and things of that nature. So y'all be careful out here, I always, I come from a certain type of lifestyle where I've always been a certain type of way. I've always been incognito. I've always been paranoid. I've always kept to myself. I never put um, personal information and things of that nature out. I really not, and I really didn't like to take pictures. It's not a lot of pictures of me out there in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So, because the lifestyle that I lived, that was dangerous. Trusting people, having friends, you know, um, things like that. That was dangerous in the lifestyle that I lived. And now it's funny because now this social media era, people like me, I see a lot of people like me who come from a certain type of background, that they got comfortable on here on social media, and I see people trying to slander and you know assassinate their character, and it's sad, man, because a lot of these people, if it was back in the day or back in that day where they was a certain type of way, people would actually be getting hurt over things like this. But it's sad because the people who really do this is not really from those type of backgrounds and stuff like that, and they disrespect people, and these people who's online, most of them are on here trying to get away from the negativity and get away from the violence and things of that nature. And you have the same people who criticize people like that, or people such as how I used to be. They criticize us for the, the mistakes we made and things like that. But now that, we're trying to change our lives, and now we're getting on social media and things of that nature, it's the same people who criticize us for the lifestyle we used to live and all of that. It's the same people who's on here disrespecting us, slandering. It's like they want us to revert back to the thing that they criticize. So I call these people haters. These people are haters. It doesn't matter if you out there in the streets, if you're doing whatever you're doing, if you're doing negativity, they're gonna hate on it and act like, oh yeah, it's because these people do negativity is the reason I'm hating on them. But when you try to be positive, they still try to hate on you. So I just call these people are just haters. John Illuminati, salute. It don't matter if you're doing good, if you're doing bad, they still gonna hate on you. But I always tell people like me, man, don't let them trick you out your blessings. Don't let them trick you out your freedom. People such as these are miserable people. It's nothing that you did. It's just that they're miserable. So, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And then you have certain individuals on here who just hate on people in general. You could just be a regular civilian, regular person living your life, and people just are hating on you. I get it. Misery loves company. But the sad thing about it for y'all civilians and regular people, I could never be a civilian, but I thrived, all praises to the Most High to get away from my old life and just be regular, live regular, be, like y'all, take care of your family, do what you got to do, stay out of trouble, live your life. Simple things such as that. Now, like I said, I probably could never be a civilian, and I probably never could just have a regular life, but I could try my best. But I feel bad for y'all because, a lot of y'all get on the social media and y'all befriend people. And you're not thinking like how I think, like y'all didn't live the life I lived where you have to be a certain type of way and watch people and not trust people and be paranoid and all that. Y'all just on here living like y'all live. But this social media done turned people into I don't even have the name for these people. So, a lot of y'all on here and y'all just, befriending people, y'all getting cool, you're giving out your information like you would do any, you don't have nothing to hide. You're not criminals and, you're living your life. But then these people go and they take the personal information you shared with them. They befriend you. They act like, that you can trust them and all of that. And then they get on here and they take that and they put it out there and they disrespect your kids and things you said in confidence. And so I feel bad, man. But, I tell y'all this. Y'all got to have to sort of started moving like, people from where I come from, the lifestyle I live. Y'all gonna have to start trying to move like that on social media. Because at the end of the day, I move how I move because I try to, to protect my loved ones and people who's not into that life. People like y'all, people, civilians, regular people. I keep that separated. I keep my, street life and things of that nature separated, and I don't bring that into that life. So y'all gotta have to look at this social media thing like that because you have to protect your family. So, I know a lot of people are proud of their family, proud of their kids, or they lost a loved one and they want to share it, or they want to share, past things that they did in the past, and but just know anything you put out there, there's people out there that's going to disrespect and do the most malicious things. So before you put anything out there, just think about that. And remember, you got to protect your loved ones and your family first. I know sometimes, you get caught up on here and you meet people who you think is cool and things of that nature, but these people can endanger your family, your loved ones. So y'all be careful out there, because y'all don't deserve that type of shit. Me living a certain type of life, I understood. Once I was in this life, I understood the repercussions and all that, and I was willing to deal with that. But I never wanted to affect anyone that I love and know that didn't choose this life and had nothing to do with it. So that's why I always kept it separate. So y'all got to look at this social media the same. Y'all chose to get on here. Y'all chose this life. But your loved ones, your children, your friends, your family who didn't choose to get on here, they didn't choose this life, try to keep them off of here. Keep them protected. You the front line. And those who you do invite from your real life on here, sit them down and let them know what can happen on here. Because then you're going to send them out there blind. Like me, my regular friends and people I love, if they wanted to get into this life, I always sat them down and I explained to them the consequences and the things that this life brings. And if they still decided to do it, hey, I could do my best to try to guide you and protect you as much as I could. But in this life, it's every man for theyself. So y'all got to look at this social media in the same way. If you're going to bring your kids on here, your loved ones, your friends, have that talk with them, especially in certain type of sectors and certain type of places. But I just wanted to put that out there. Let's see. We got anybody up in here? Top shot. Salute. Oh, and another thing, I know a lot of y'all coming over here supporting from the other page. Salute. I appreciate y'all. It's that D goddess. Salute. But over here, all of the little issues and all of that type of stuff that y'all have outside of this page and all that, don't bring it over here. You will get timed out. You will get blocked. You will not be invited over here. We have a place for that. To save all that energy till we take it to the other place. For those who know, they know. For those who don't know, they don't know. Save that energy. Don't bring it over here. This is like the reverse of my other page. This is the reverse. I want everybody to feel comfortable, respected, and things of that nature. Because certain people might see certain of y'all on my panel, certain of y'all in my chat, and then they're not going to want to come to the page. They feel like this and that, but it ain't no teams, it ain't no coats and all that type of, activity over here. Don't bring it over here or you got to go. Now, if you can't understand that, you won't be able to be on my on my panel. If you can't understand it in the chat, you won't be able to be in my chat. It's not personal. It's just that, we trying to do some things over here. I'm trying to show people that we can have platforms without the drama, without all the, part of my language, fuckery. And for those who really believe that we can do this, appreciate your support, but we got to lead by example, because this is all people really know. The trolling, the drama. This is how they've been taught to build their pages, to get their 1,000 subscribers and they watch hours. This is what they've been taught. So we got to show them a different way. So, this page here, I built it without none of the drama, none of the trolling. I already got the subscribers. I already got 1,000 subscribers. You don't need to do lives and all of that to get 1,000 subscribers and to get the watch hours. You don't need to do lives. You could just do it, uploads, and you can do content and build your page like that. Then you can start to do your lives. See, a lot of people, that's the way they do it, because you got to remember, before StreamYard, my page I had before StreamYard, my positive page, I got it monetized. I got my 1,000 subscribers, my watch hours, all before I started doing lives or for uploads and content. So that's the best way to do it. Because you don't really even have to do lives, but you could do lives to interact with the people, give the people a voice and stuff like that. Drop your link, have people come up and speak. But once you started off with the lives and all of that, then you have to depend on the drama. You have to depend on the people to come to your page and support and things of that nature. And then you have to start doing your content to what those people want to see. Then you have the clicks, and I'm not talking about I'm talking about the clicks and teams and sectors and the this and that, and you got to take a side, and you're on this side, and you're caught up in all the drama and things of that nature, when you don't have to go about it like that. Now, some people really can't do content, and that's the way they, or that's the only way they know, is to troll and do the drama to build a page, and you might build it faster. It might be quicker, but I always tell people, a slow million is better than a quick 100. So I see a lot of people who have, they just starting out, and they get their 1,000 views, they get their watch hours, and they say, "Oh, I did this in less than 4 months, 5 months, 2 months, 3 months." But all the things that they had to do, the trolling, the drama, all the things that they had to do, and which made their character look a certain way. I always ask, was it worth it? Was it worth it to build up your page? Because now that's the only, your page turned into a drama, a troll page. Linda G, salute. Like, I think I had this page. I think I had the watch hours and the subs within a month and a half on this page. Because you could do content, topics. Now, a lot of people say, they don't want to cover things that's trending, or they don't want to cover trending topics. But I always say, what's the difference between covering, for instance, Country Wayne is a show that I watch. So a lot of my content, the content is on here, comes from Country Wayne. So I said, what's the difference between me doing content and videos on Country Wayne and me doing content and videos on these certain other YouTubers or trolls or just regular people or things of that nature? What's the difference? The only difference is the energy and the crowd that I'm bringing to the page. Now, if I'm doing content on drama and trolls and all of that, that's what I'm going to bring to the platform. So some people cover media, some people cover music, some people cover, all types of things. So it's better to build your platform like that than to build it off drama and trolling, because at the end of the day, that's what the people are going to expect to see. That's the algorithm you're going to be in. And if you're trying to get monetized, you're not going to get a lot of good commercials. Your BPM or whatever you call it is not going to be high, and you're not going to make money off of your videos. So I try to do, I have my other gladiator school in case that's the route you want to take. And now I have these, I have other pages, to show people different ways, because a lot of people on here talk, but I like to show by example. A lot of people say, "Oh, I can do this. I can be monetized if I want," but they never was monetized. Oh, I can get a 100,000 views if I want, but they never got it. You feel me? So it's not about what people say, it's about what people do, the actions. So I like to show people I can do certain things if I choose to, but this is not what I'm on here for. I got a mission and a message, all praises to the Most High. But if I can give some lessons and blessings along the way, then I'll do that. So if I have to show y'all that I can get 100,000 views, 1,000,000 views, I can get monetized, I can do this, I can do that. If I have to show y'all in order to, by example, to teach a lesson, I'm all willing to do it. But at the end of the day, like I said, that's not what I'm on here for. But a lot of people say they could have, would have, can do certain things, but they don't show and prove. And I'm not here to boast. I'm not here to brag. I'm just here to show. And whoever, can learn anything from out this, if this can help you, all praises to the Most High. But anyway, I know I'm rambling on, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I do. I know I'm rambling on. Y'all, was y'all asking questions? I wasn't even looking at the chat. So, for all of those who've been, supporting me ever since the positive page, y'all already know. I didn't get. I know sometimes, y'all might be like, oh, what is KT doing? He's off track. Now I'm never off track. I've always been one to stick to the code. Win, lose, or draw, ride or die. I'm just having an unorthodox way of doing things. So, I never got off the mission. I'm still on a mission. I still got the message. But, I have to I got to adapt to my environment. Once I seen what it was and what was going on, I had to adapt. Because it's like, nowadays I got a lot of friends. When I go through the hood, they still got on baggy clothes, drinking 40s with the Timberland boots. They in their mid 40s, pushing 50. And every time I come around there, they still on the same spot, on the same corner. When they see me, they always talking the same shit about the good old days. Remember these days and that days. Remember this and that. Those times is over. You have to adapt. My clothes is not baggy anymore. They fit it now. They not skinny. Like, I didn't go all the way in, but I had to adapt to my environment so I won't get stuck in the past. A lot of people are stuck in the past. You got to adapt. So don't get stuck in the past, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get stuck in the past. And I'm not bougie or nothing, but I tell them I don't drink 40s. You feel me? I hardly drink a beer. Give me some ale. Give me some ale. Give me some ale. I used to say, when I was smoking, I don't smoke outside, but now you can smoke outside now. But I tell them, I don't smoke outside. I got a whole house to smoke. But I will never bring you there because you're stuck in the past. You're stuck in the same place. And I might bring you around my personal life and stuff like that, and you might plot on me and hate on me because you still stuck in the past and I've moved forward. So when I'm there, I'm in the moment. I'm not there for long. I'm out of there. Then I go back to my living my life. I used to spend more time in the hood and less time in my home, but now I spend more time in my home and less time in the hood. Because, we grow up. A lot of people are stuck in the past, and this is why a lot of people, even on here on social media, a lot of people stuck in the past and they don't want to grow up, or they trying to keep up with the young people. They pants is mad skinny, like you too old. Some of y'all are too old to try to dress and keep up with the young people. Let the young people do what they do, and you do what you do. Some of y'all trying to compete with the young people. When you try to compete against the young people, they lose respect for you. I don't hang out with the young people. I'll come through, drop a couple jewels, and I'm out of there. Because once they get comfortable with you and they start playing around with you, they lose respect for you. So on this social media, man, let's jump back to social media. Y'all be careful out there. Be careful who you associate with. You can associate with people, but don't be careful who you tell your personal business and you open up to and things of that nature, because it's real crazy out here, man. I guess this is the new streets for us adults. This is the new streets for us adults. This is the new high school. This is the new in crowd. This is the new, sometimes we get caught up, in the past trying to relive our childhood and all that. Well, we ain't kids no more. But most people on here cutting up that I see is in their mid-20s to their late 50s, pushing 60. I don't really see the younger crowd on here cutting up like that. Maybe because I'm not in those circles. But the most people I see on here trolling and the drama and all that are grown. Some people are parents, some people are grandparents. So y'all got to remember, the young people are watching us, and this is what they see. Little Mario, salute. Remember, the young people are watching us. And remember, anything you do is recorded on here. That's why I choose myself. I don't tell other people what to do. This is an internet persona, an online personality, because later on, if, my children or young nieces, nephews, and all that run across somehow, stumble upon, my page and all that, if it's not this type of page or it's not a serious page, if they stumble upon I'm not saying I don't know nothing about this, but if I ever had a troll page and they stumble upon it and see us cutting up, or they see daddy or uncle cutting up on there, and they come and they ask me, I can be like, no, listen, that's a character. It's entertainment, like your favorite actor, So remember, all this recorded on here. Your nieces, nephews, your children, they got friends. They can stumble upon, and you gotta remember, you somebody parents, grandparents. You gotta remember this. Remember when you was young, and imagine you went on the internet and you seen your parents cutting up, your grandparents cutting up, boy, and you gotta go to school and all that, all the kids got phones and all that. You know, went viral doing something crazy. Imagine that. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna drop the link. If anybody got anything they want to say about the topic, can you really be friends with someone you never met in person? Or if anybody got any experiences or success stories or stories of failure, hit the link and share and share. But yeah, man, besides that, man, what's today? Friday. Friday's the end of the week. Hope everybody, has, a good time tonight. Don't have too much fun. Don't do nothing I would do. Now just play. Enjoy your weekend. Oh, let me see. Let me see if I got some more music down here. Hold on.
Time to practice your scares and your arpeggios.
Team, no team. Aye, from the hood to the woods. Aye, lost life living something like Suge. No engine, but I come from the hood. But we them niggas said they can do it. From the wood to the hood. Normal street, we were catching the judge. First street, nigga know what it was. Logan knows, put some thuggin' with bloods. Aye, from the hood to the woods. Lost life living something like Suge. No engine, but I come from the hood. But we them niggas said they can do it. From the wood to the hood. Normal street, we were catching the judge. First street, nigga know what it was. Logan knows, put some thuggin' with bloods.
Out of my city now. Look how I'm holding the city down. Niggas one day when I was really down. Now all of these niggas want pity now. Nah. I got no sympathy for 'em. I got no empathy for 'em. Nah. I got these felonies for 'em and I ain't get anything for it. I'm staying the facts. I've been home a couple hundred days. Told the judge he got a part of me. Trapping shit gon' be a part of me. I done ran this shit up all the way. Started chugging in them hallways. Trapping in some petty hardaways. Keep the Nina in the cardigan. Treat my niggas like a part of me.
Standing ovation, a nigga get clapped. You catching feelings, this bitch on my lap. Don't get too comfortable. Nigga, don't lack. You ain't the only one in town with a gat. I'm smoking purple in the trap, serving niggas with a blicky. This boy sucking dick for an act. Fuck the Sherman and they tickets. I went the Paris like I was a chemist. Took out the bus, they was calling me Bettis. I got the gas, I feel like a medic. Blowing this cash, this shit is irrelevant. Bitches be calling me Poppy. I tell them hoes I'm Dominican. I got the tech in the lobby. You already know what the business is.
Niggas hating, I'm like, what's the reason? Man, that pocket's fat, I'm like, fuck a visa. Son, I'm in the woods, smoking all this reefer. Man, that loud booming, drowning on my speakers. You ain't about that action, or that talking cheaper. Niggas talking, but they always sleeping. And that passion.
Salute. Murph is in the building.
Yo, what's up, my brother?
What's going on?
Yeah, I had to speak. We talked on this topic before, so I had to interject some.
Oh no, I ain't mad at you, man. I appreciate it.
I seen Tam said that she popped in and out. She said the answer quick. There are some that she does like trust. I guess the easiest way would be like trust our secrets with. I guess that'd be the easiest way to put it. But right. I do agree. There are a few, very few that it's like I kind of do trust in a way, even though I've never met.
Right. Tommy, salute. So would you consider them as friends?
I mean, Pamela, I call my sister. You're like my big sister. We've never met. We've spoken on the phone. She talks to Kels twice a week, whatever. But we've never physically met.
So how long would you say that you knew Pamela for?
2.5 years. 3 years almost.
Did y'all ever have any type of disagreement or fallout?
We didn't have a fallout, but we've disagreed. Even we were doing a show together one time, and it was her and my mother actually up there, and both of them were kind of disagreeing with my point, and we still got to express our points respectfully. You know what I mean? So right. There was never a fallout, but we have disagreed with each other and things like that.
Okay. Because in life, you discover who your true friends are in bad times.
Yeah.
In bad times than good times.
Mm-hmm. That's when you find out who your family is.
Right.
Like out of your friends, you got friends that become like closer than blood.
You see me, I'm kind of different. Like my friends, if I consider you a friend, I consider you like family. You know what I'm saying? But everybody.
I have a million acquaintances, but
right, acquaintance, yeah. So yeah, right.
That's what people go. Oh, Murph, that's my friend, and I'm like, I'd call you an acquaintance. You know what I mean? But
right.
To me, a friend is someone that doesn't have to sacrifice, but would. That's what makes a friend. Like they don't have to. We're not saying you have to sacrifice to be a friend, but if the ball rolled that way, they'd be ready to go.
So what if one day you met Pamela and you discovered a lot of things she told you was lies? Would you forgive her?
I mean, yeah, just I understand if it was like a catfish situation where you're trying to be romantically linked. I do have a funny, not a funny, but I have a story, something you're speaking on there as well. But maybe if it was more
Salute,
of a
salute,
relationship,
Salute, John.
salute, John. Maybe
salute,
if it was more of like
KT.
a relationship type of thing, then I'd feel so. But I would just feel like, hey, why did you feel like you had to lie? If I call you my sister and you call me your brother, you shouldn't have to feel like you have to hold back anything.
Right, right. I get it. I get it. But you know, when you haven't met somebody in person, sometimes that's like a defense on certain things you might have told them, and then y'all might get cool later. And then, David, salute.
No, I understand that totally. I think you have to as you become friends, you would have to let the person know, like, hey, in the beginning when I said this, it was a defense mechanism. This is the truth. Sometimes you have to get that stuff out.
Right. John, what's going on, my brother? You got something to add?
Salute. First, I'm gonna say I like the vibe, the positive channel. Of course, I have to share
Right.
this because I got a little thing where if it's positive, I don't want my wall to be all just sharing shit all the time. But when it's
Mm.
this, so that's like an automatic though.
Oh, I
But when you
appreciate
talk
it.
about, not a problem. You got to support positive content because the drama gets old after a while. Anybody could do drama, but
Right.
can you put on a show like KT, then transition to himself? You know what I mean?
Real talk.
Facts.
But going on what you were saying, I think it's possible for people to be friends because you got to think about it. There's been people that have cried for each other, that have laughed with each other. Like you got an emotional bond going on. You know,
Right.
sometimes people interact with people more. Sometimes people on the internet talk to you more than your own family does. Sometimes.
For
Yeah.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. I mean, you figure if we see each other every day and say hello every day, that might be more than you talk to your mother. You know what I mean? As a man, our mothers
Yeah,
are a big part of our life, but I may speak to Pamela, Tam Tam, the ladies in the chat, Miss Bobby. I may speak to them more than my own, everyone but Kels.
Right.
you got to be selective in who you choose as a friend. Like as what should we call you on this page? Holla at your boy.
I'll at your boy KT, anything without
All
the,
right,
word in there.
I got you,
Mm-hmm.
KT. Well, like KT said, you got to be very selective. Like some people try to be your friend just to get information on you, just to use against you. You got to be very selective.
Right.
You got to have your third eye, your antennas up all the time. But
Real
then
talk.
Yeah,
again,
you have to be a little more advanced online for sure.
yes, you do. Yes, you do. That is a fact.
Something in real life that would take you 10 years to figure out about a person, you have to figure out in 3 months, essentially. You got to, like, you could have a friend and in 10 years you didn't know he was an addict, had an alcohol problem, was abusive. You take you 10 years to find these things out. Online, you're trying to find these things out within the first 6 months.
Right. I think John was gonna make another point.
Pardon me.
Now it's
Yeah,
all
I forgot. I forgot what I was going to say.
it's all
Oh,
good.
I know what I was going to say. I was going to say like sometimes like going like stand on top it that sometimes like I've seen people do it though where you have a problem or friends got your back. I've seen people where they're able to like cash out people a real emergency. I'm not talking about the scammers, a real
Mhm.
emergency, and they couldn't even go to their own family. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's a friendship right there. For you to actually have that deep concern of people for somebody, you didn't do it for attention, and you actually helped somebody out.
Facts.
Like I give a content creator and like in general that's helped many people. We had our problems before, but we're cool now. Behind the bar, I seen him help many people. I
Mm.
seen him. I seen him give money to people and everything. You know what I mean? He didn't have to. He didn't ask for anything in return.
Right.
No, you're right.
Linda said, and people's version of a friend also plays a major part, and that's true because the
Yeah.
way I look at a friend is totally different. Like if you my friend, like I expect certain things from you, and
Mhm.
and when it comes, I'll do the same thing. Whatever I expect from you, I give the same energy to you. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like mutual
So,
respect. Yeah.
Right.
King Crow, what would you, pardon me, Bees, what would you call like your, I don't want to say the word best friend because it feels cliche, but let's say the person you're, other than Light, because Light in real life. So, whoever you're closest with online, what would you call them? An acquaintance?
Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
associate, uh,
Associate. Okay.
something like that. I mean, because I'm not really too close with
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say. I don't know that you have a Pamela like I do. You know what I mean? Like me and Kels have a Pamela. I don't know that you have other than Pamela. You know what I mean? But it's like it's like I don't know that you have, like you said, light in real life. You met a few people in real life, so it kind of makes it different, which I understand. I've had some of my real life friends online, so it does make it a little different.
Right.
Okay.
No, I thought John was going to say something. But me personally, I'll tell you this. If I did have someone I got close to that I met online, I wouldn't broadcast it online. Like, I'll talk to them on the phone or and things of that nature. But I wouldn't, because if I do meet somebody and we get close online and they always talk about how cool we is online, then I'm gonna feel like you just cool with me for show online. You feel what I'm saying?
Just to say it. Yeah.
Right.
Just to say, yeah, you're not a friend. That's when you become a groupie.
I didn't want to say that.
Hey, KT, on something you were speaking on earlier, you were saying with the catfish and you brought up an example of maybe you're talking to someone and they look different than they used to. I know someone very close that happened to. He started to pen pal with a girl that he had went to high school with. This is 20 years after high school, He meets her and she had a rough 20 years. You know what I mean? So it was like he felt catfished in a way. Like that was before the catfish expression even existed, but he felt that feeling of like, you lied to me. I'm still thinking you're this girl, and not to make a joke, but you look like this girl's grandmother. You know what I mean? Like the years have been rough. The years were rough on the one. So I just wanted to propose that to you guys. How would you handle that situation? This isn't a catfish, a stranger. This is someone from your past you may not have seen in a long time. And when you reconnect, they weren't completely honest on their outer appearance.
Yeah, that's a tough one, though. But you got to, why would they even do that, though? Because a lot of they're trying to cover something up. So my guess would be they cover up their insecurities or whatever. Like I don't agree with that. You should always be honest with somebody. But there's a such thing as not all lies are equal. You know what I mean? I mean, a lie is still a lie. It shouldn't happen. But not all lies are equal.
Right.
I mean, it would be different if they said that I'm a gazillionaire. I got 6 Lambos. I get my 7th one so I could drive on Sunday too, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that'll be different. I mean, sit down and talk with that person, and then you start to have doubts. Like, what else did you lie to me about?
Exactly, and I'm that way. So what I would do when I finally meet them again, I'll be cordial and cool and all that, but I already knew from the initial sight of them that we're never gonna meet again.
Yeah.
Like, it's the last time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this could have been brought up. It didn't. Yeah, you should have brought it up.
So I'm not going to bring up that I'm never going to contact when you call. I'm not picking up. I'm blocking you and all that type of stuff. I'm not even going to say it. We're just going to have a good time, and then No,
that's the way to look at it. Because when it happened, I was still young, and a couple of my friends were like, "I'd have screamed and cursed her out right there at the bus station." But I'm thinking, like, what's the point of that, though? Like, you could lose a great friend, and or maybe it won't work out romantically, but it could be a great friend.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
it's not like one of the lies you see in today's. That's why I don't get how people want to be like the younger generation. They don't know how many genders there are. They don't know what bathroom they use. Why are you trying to keep up with them? You're supposed to be.
I think they're honestly with that. I think they're just trying to accept everybody, and when you accept when everybody's special, no one is, and that's what's not being realized.
Participation trophies for everybody. You get a participation trophy.
And that's kind of what we live. We don't care. These kids don't care your race, your sexuality, where you come from, what language. They'll find a common connector. Music, art, whatever.
Me personally, I'm kind of like the reverse. I'm kind of like, if I bring you into my personal life, you'll see something different, but not probably in a negative way. But I don't display stuff. To people I don't know personally. I don't show a certain part of my life. You feel what I'm saying?
Like there'll be things that you necessarily want to tell somebody, but it's not anything bad though.
Right. Haley, salute, because I don't.
There's none of their business, so they don't need to know everything about you. Like you don't need to. Everybody don't need to know your blood type, your DNA, what shoe size you wear, your taste, your allergies. You don't need to bring all that shit to YouTube.
We all got little quirks.
Like we were saying before, somebody you don't know who's listening. It's the internet. Anybody could be listening.
Right.
People use that information against you or something.
Or
better yet, somebody used to be a friend. They'll use that information against you. Right. There's a reason why I haven't been doxxed, because I'm very careful what information I share.
I'm the same.
You got to be when you're on the internet, you got to treat it like walking down the street with your information. You got to be very vague.
Right.
Like you're not going to go flashing your driver's license. My driver's license is XBC4 Potato 9.
But the problem is people don't take accountability.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're not going to go flashing that stuff down like in the middle of the supermarket. Some scammer is going to be writing that number down real quick. And next thing you know, Habib got a couch in your name, like in Pakistan or some shit.
Yeah, you never know.
There's got to be more accountability.
Right. And me personally, I like to, if somebody want to, fuck with me or befriend me and all that, I want them to, do that because of me, not because what I could do for them or what I got.
That's
that nature. You know what I'm
definitely.
Like I tend to connect to people that I feel are like genuinely solid. They don't got to be perfect, because I'm not perfect myself. Only God's perfect. I can't hold people to a standard that I can't reach myself. We tend to have something in common. They're genuinely honest people. They have integrity and stuff like that. That's why I rock with KT. That's why I rock with Kenza. People in the chat too.
Appreciate it.
You know what it is? When you're looking for a friend, you gotta honestly be looking for nothing. Like, not to say nothing.
You don't want nothing in return.
It is exactly what KT said. You're looking for somebody that like just wants you for you. It is like you want nothing. You trying to gain nothing but the friendship, the dialogue, whatever. It's like the things you will gain, there isn't a huge gain on top of them. Now, if I'm just being friends with him because of 60 people in a chat, or you're going for the wrong reasons right from jump.
Exactly.
It'll show itself.
Yeah.
It'll show itself.
It's like young kids when you was a kid and you just connected with somebody and y'all became friends, not because of nothing. Some people you click with, some people you don't click with,
How many times you heard a story where someone got in a fist fight and then became best friends? That's rare, but it happens.
Oh no, that happened. That happened to me.
It goes to show that you just didn't understand the connection as much, and you had to scrap first. That's all. Then you're like, oh, wait,
became the best of friends. Yeah,
right.
Not as bad as I thought.
Right.
I had a friend like I didn't see him again until about 5 years later. We moved to different neighborhoods, but when we seen each other, it was real cordial from jump because we had fought when we were little kids.
Yeah, I had a one-sided friendship like that. It's this kid, he was like the bully of the block. And he used to always come to my house and ask my moms, can I come out to play, to fight? So I used to try to tell my moms, tell him I'm not here. She'd be like, oh, don't do that to your friend.
Yeah, you need to go out and play with your friend.
Yeah, and then we always fight. Then after a while, we stopped fighting. We got cool. But I used to hate that kid.
I'll tell you, I wish I grew up in these days. The way parents are like, your mom's out there fighting their mom, so you don't like. Man, when I was a kid, I remember this kid was like one of the neighborhood bullies, punched me in the face. I went home and told my dad that was the worst thing I ever did. He said, go fight him. I said, I'm scared. He said, fight him or fight me. Right. I'm scared. All right, let's go. He walked right there with me, made me call the guy out, watched me fight him. And it is that lesson you learn, like you're scared, but once you fight, you see there's nothing to be scared of. Yeah. And we became good friends after. I became friends with that whole family after that.
Win, lose, or draw. It's win, lose, or don't come home saying you didn't fight back. Win, lose, or draw.
Facts.
I've only had one draw.
I remember I got jumped. And I went and told my brother. He brought me back to fight. I had to fight both of the kids that jumped me. I won the first one, but by the second one, I was tired.
Yeah, you're like, I'm a little tired. Let me tag you in, bro.
Yeah, but he would pull us apart every time dude was getting the best of me and all that. But
yeah, he's still your brother.
Right. I thought we was gonna go beat them up, though, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, we got this in the bag. He's like, we. That's where KT learned that we. Right. We French. He learned that lesson young.
I'm like that to this day. If I get into any trouble, I'll handle it myself. If it get too much, I'll get my people whatever.
It was at that moment that KT learned there is a me in team.
It's true. Now, and as I'm saying, we all got our own little quirks. Like I know I never walked the same way back that I walked somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up with I grew up with a friend that told me, listen, if you ever get jumped, curl up in a ball, cover up, cover up while you're getting jumped. He said, but when they're done and walking away, get up and run up and hit the one in the back. Like whoever's closest to you, hit him. Even if they jump you again, keep doing it. He said, eventually they'll stop jumping you because they're going to think, yo, this dude don't. And it's true. If you get up and they jump you 3 times, jump you, you hit them, jump you, you hit them. Most times they're like, this guy's crazy. And they leave you alone.
See, what I was taught was grab one of them and punish that one while they jump you. Whoever you holding on to, you punish. Like, so I used to bite. Then and the one I used to grab used to try to tell him, stop hitting him.
He's biting me. Yep.
I'll go crazy on you.
That's the way to do it, though. You take one down with you. Now you're kicking your own friend. See, it's funny. I said that to my kid. My kid was he's bigger than me now. And he's grown and all, 19, 20, 6'2", 6'3", big kid. So one day he was like, what, little guy or something, like messing with me, of course. And I said, let me rap to you, bro. I said, I've been jumped more than you've been in fights. Just wrap that around your mind for a minute. Like, that's not counting the one-on-one fights I've been in. I've been jumped 6 times in my life. Like, come on, bro. I was a cocky white kid in a black neighborhood. You didn't think I didn't get my lessons learned? Go ahead and get cocky. Watch what happens.
I seen that happen, and then our white dude, we always end up being cool with and shit though. I wasn't the one doing the jumping and shit. I was always the one that gave somebody the benefit of the doubt. Before it was even cool to be cool with white people, I was cool with white people.
One time I got jumped by my friends.
I don't care who you was. I had Jewish friends growing up, white friends, Hispanic friends, even had Arabic friends growing up though. Like I was the United Nations before the United Nations or something.
Hey, that's the way to have it.
See, I didn't really grow up around white people. Like I had, like in the schools I went to, was probably like 1 or 2 white people. Like
it's kind of the opposite for me. It's kind of the opposite.
I was cool with them a little bit, but I never got real cool with nobody.
Well, yours was later in life. Once you moved out here, that's when you said.
Yeah, when I moved to the Poconos. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, I think this is the first. Like, this is probably the whitest neighborhood my kids ever lived in. Like they were the only white kids on my last block, you know what I mean? So it's like the block before that, same thing. So that's like, but like John said, the United Nations, I remember we came out one day and they're sitting there on the porch and it looked like a photo. It was a black kid, a white kid, and a Puerto Rican kid all looking at the same phone. And I said, this is some kumbaya shit. You know, it was just perfect. It was like, cool to see.
It's a joke or some shit. A white kid, a black kid.
When I was a kid, I'm like, man, we would not have been sitting together when I was a kid.
Scamala, salute. You remember those jokes, John? They used to have jokes like that, Murph. White man, black man, Chinese man jokes.
Watch the Joe Bar, yeah.
Like walks in, white man dies, black man dies. Those ones.
Yeah, like it's a white man, black man, Chinese man.
They're the best jokes, but they're the most racial ones. So nowadays, it's hard for people to take those jokes now.
But here's the thing, though. Now they're racist, though. Before back then, everybody laughed.
Right.
I'll tell you what, the first time I heard that 2 guys in the back seat who's driving a cop was from a black guy. A black guy told me that.
People are so offended about jokes now, they wouldn't survive the Marine Corps.
Right.
That takes it to another level and shit.
Even construction's the same way. I've never worked a job. We didn't
take a bullet for each other, though. That's the crazy part about it, though. Like, there's many stories of Marines winning medals or honors where they jumped on a grenade or whether just saved their whole platoon or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, society's too sensitive now. Not everything. Instead of being mad at the real racists crooks and 1%, they're mad at their fellow 99%, blaming them.
Mm-hmm.
Calling them
Nazis. You're more mad at ignorance than hatred.
Yeah, they don't want to address the real racist, the elephant in the room.
That's what it is. It's you're not worried about the hatred. You're worried about the ignorance. These are people that can be taught still, and it's like, no, cancel them. canceled him, and it's like, if we cancel him, now you made a real racist. Now he hates black people because of your fucking canceling. And then even black people canceling him half the time. It'll be a fucking white snowflake.
But you see, me personally, I don't think it's the people. I think it's the system. I think people. We used to fight against the system and not individual people. But people stop fighting against the system and focusing on individual. Yeah,
we got so much division, so many different cliques. Whether it's race, whether it's religion, you even see people shooting each other over sporting events.
Yep.
Like, it gets worse than that this last year.
The Yankees and the Red Sox rival will be getting real.
Right.
In the last year, people have been shot for getting in the wrong car, knocking on the wrong door. Like, things are a little wild in 2023. Two teenage girls got shot because they got in the wrong car. A little boy got shot because he knocked on the wrong door. Like that, that shouldn't be happening.
You know what I think? I think things like these was happening, but now social media, we can see it, and then now it gets emulated, and then now more people start doing it because you want to go viral. This is the new way to be famous and stuff like that. So people see whatever's trending and they try it out.
Yep, that and you got the
fact tell people that about Kensington all the time. This whole fad of let's watch all the addicts in Kensington. I'm like, you think that just started to go like that? Like that? You know how long ago it started to go downhill? We're talking 1990. I seen hookers prostitutes, drug addicts, homeless, right there in that main stop. You were starting to see them then, and nothing was done, and it got worse and worse and worse. I tell people that. You think now that it's on social media, it didn't just start.
You also got the fact that you got people purchasing more firearms. I'm not blaming the firearms, of course, because the firearm never walked into a school and did nothing.
Yeah.
But people buying more firearms, whereas opposed to today, we always had the Second Amendment. America has always been a gun-loving country. But
the
now
thing is, though, John, when do we hear about the good stories?
Wait, hold on. I think you cut him off there.
I'm sorry.
But now you got all these firearms. But like, for instance, you'll see videos of the Chinese in their classes, and they're training. I guess they're training for military. They're getting firearm classes. Like, we don't have firearm classes. People just think, and then when you do see firearms, what are they used for? Video games. You're popping somebody. Music. Somebody's being popped. Hollywood. Somebody else is getting popped. You know what I mean?
Good point.
So people are pretty much trained to react on that, though. You got a lot of loose cannons. You got more firearms, so of course you're gonna see more events. People don't got no common sense. I think it's more a knock on society. Like, that's how society is. Like, it's not even the gun safety. Like, this is part of the agenda for them to take away our guns. Like, where people are just trained and conditioned to solve all the problems. I'm just gonna grab a firearm. Like, it's brains of a brawn. Like, if you can't talk your way out of a situation, or if you don't know diplomacy, how the hell are you gonna master the art of war?
And the news isn't playing the good clips where people are saving someone with the gun. It's a school shooting. It's a mass murder. We're never seeing like, oh, someone came in to shoot a church up, and this one old guy that got one handled that. You never hear those stories.
You don't hear those, no?
I wanted to tell you guys a crazy statistic I heard, though. So there are 193 countries in the world. All right. What number do you think we are in gun violence?
1, 2.
I don't think we're number
Everyone
one.
Everyone would assume 1, but we're 3, right? Here's something
Mexico will probably be higher.
Yeah, I think. Here's a little food for thought. Here's some food for thought. We're number 3. If you were to take out Philadelphia, what is it?
Democrat-run city.
Philly, St. Louis. There's 5. The 5 cities with the most gun crime. If we took them out, we would be 189th.
They're all Democrat-run cities. Matter of fact, the top homicide cities for this year, once again.
Population too, though, John.
They're like the Jordan of gun violence. They're like the Jordan of Black Death. Because once again, top 15 cities happen to be run by one party. Guess what party that is?
I mean, you're also dealing with more population in those cities.
Yeah.
You figure if you got South Dakota. South Dakota is a Republican state. There's more people.
They go by population, like per capita of like 100,000.
Yeah, that's why we have the electoral college. But I'm saying per crime, you think, look, there's more people in the Bronx than there is in the entire state of South Dakota. There's more people in Kensington than North Dakota. So when you're dealing with that kind of numbers, That's why when you hear people talk, they'll say like, "Oh, New Orleans isn't as bad," and it's like, no, New Orleans, by their population, murder by population is still very high. St. Louis, Little Rock, these places are still very high. It's just you don't hear about it as much anymore.
Kansas
but you got to
City,
recognize the
both
population.
Kansas cities, yeah. Baltimore,
Like, look at Detroit.
Chicago,
Detroit
Seattle,
is up there.
Los Angeles,
Detroit's up
Detroit,
there
I said
because
Chicago, Boston, Dallas, Houston. You know they all have in common? They all run by Democrats. What a coincidence.
Hey.
You can't make this stuff up. The top murder cities are just, it's part of the agenda.
Pushing everyone back to the coast was definitely part of an agenda. They've been trying to do that for years.
But the thing is, they're trying to get everybody.
They're the blue cities and states.
They're trying to get everybody to move into the blue cities and push everybody away from all the urban areas. They don't want suburbs.
Hey, I don't blame any party, man, because Texas, that last school shooting was in Texas, the most Republican state, Florida.
But the school was a gun-free zone.
All schools are.
But the same state that happened in, Democrats voted against arming teachers or arming guards in the school.
It's a tough debate for sure, because I've heard people say that.
Like
teachers feel underworked now.
They voted against. It was like a year before that. They voted against having armed guards in schools, elementary schools. But yet, meanwhile, you see them walking around. They got armed guards. I mean, they tell me guns are cool for y'all, not nobody else. Only y'all could be trusted with guns. The same people that released the plague from China across the whole planet tell us to go inside, get this in our bodies, and you can't work anymore.
All you have to do is drop a police car in front of every school in your. If you have 3 schools in your city, then you need 3 new policemen hired, 1 for each school. It has to be someone through training. We can't trust teachers. They can't handle giving you a math test, let alone reloading the Glock. We're trying to get people that may have PTSD from war. Like the only way to be sure is to go, this is your job already. Now this is your specific job. Watch the school. Because a lot of time they'll say crime will be deterred simply by a cop car being there. Not in Kensington, but other places.
You know what they do in Cali? For they do like a lot of areas in Cali, like area I'm into, is where they have like for majors, like events or something, even like sporting events, they have a police car right there. That's like deterrence right there. You know what I mean? Graduations.
I live in a town with 4,000 people in those cops.
Not just one police car. You'll see cops, like a heavy presence right there, closing off roads and everything. And that's sad though, because I mean, this is our fellow Americans. We're doing it to each other. You know what I mean?
Hey, my high school was like that. I went to high school in Kensington. We had to have half the 24th police district there, and we were a trade school, but we were fighting with the neighborhood schools, so that you'd have horse cops, paddy wagon, SWAT team, and that's a high school. Like I said, I live in a town with. Pardon me. I live in a town with 4,000 people, and they got a cop at the school. It's not hard. It's like it deters people.
Frankie made a comment and said something about both parties, birds of the same feather. I agree. Ain't no politician coming to our rescue until we figure it out ourselves and stop these petty divisions. We're roadkill for the New World Order. They're going to keep coming for us.
You know what?
They're already talking about releasing another scandemic. I'm pretty sure they're going to do that too.
And you know what? A lot of us in this chat on this panel, we ain't even going to be here when certain things happen. So I always say, man, what we going to do right now? Like what we going to do right now to ensure our loved ones and all that, at least, because it's going to get crazy. But I'll feel better if we at least tried to put this stuff out there and do something than just sitting back.
You have to leave these messages. These things have to be there for them to learn, to take. Won't be here for them.
But we're like these days, we're competing with Xbox, we're competing with Hollywood, we're competing with LeBron James. They need to just look at their parents as their heroes, not these athletes. Like a kid would spend more time talking to their friends on Xbox than they do their parents.
That's such a great point, John. I don't know if you even realized it. It's the love of pop culture is kind of what screwed us over, right? Like when we were kids, who was your role models? I mean, I don't even want to say it, but cops were still role models then. Priests, your father, the people at the church.
We used to play.
That was all right. They were all
that game. We used to play cops and robbers.
Yep. And no one cried about being a cop. Nowadays, it's just robbers. No one wants to be the cop anymore.
There's good cops and there's bad cops. The same as you can walk into McDonald's, you could be You could be a they could be a good fast food worker, or you might get cold fries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How many people do nasty shit with people's food? That's not every fast food worker, or there'd be no fast food workers. Same thing with police.
I'd
If
be
there were
nice to
only
sell when I go
bad
through the
cops,
drive through. Like when they're taking their time, I don't complain. I don't say shit. I just
but we also have to
bite
acknowledge
my
the
fucking
system
tongue.
is flawed, John.
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge that the system is flawed as well. You can't say
Right.
it's only good cops and bad cops because of how flawed their system is.
See, but what you got to remember, popular culture always dictated what the people did. Before it was movies and radio, it was books, it was plays,
So,
it was
paintings,
a cult. What they call it, a cult of personality.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So you had Caesars, you had the Alexander the Greats. All of these people were pop culture, popular culture.
But did we worship them the way we do today? Like, there's a girl on TikTok famous for looking like Ariana Grande. Like, her claim to fame is looking like someone else who's famous.
Yeah, they worshiped them because they used to think
Couldn't even be yourself.
divine. They used to
God
think
only
these
made
people was
God
divine.
only made one her in this world. It makes her special because God only made one KT. God only made one Kenza, one me. Makes us all special. We're a unique person. Nobody got any business walking around trying to be somebody else when God only made one of you. You got your own shine. You don't need to be somebody else.
That's
You
how
got
I
to
always
remember,
tell people.
people live off other people's popularity. Like
that's true too. Yep.
You know, some people, a person to come along and do something. Look at Tupac. A lot of people take things, bits and pieces from Tupac, as he took from the Malcolm X's and the, you know what I'm saying? So
kind of like the trickle down effect, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean that's all music, right? Like we wouldn't even have heavy metal if it wasn't for like jazz. Do you know what I mean? It's like these bands that were trying to play jazz but in a lower tuning, and all of a sudden they came up with heavy metal. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Hip hop don't sound today what it used to. It doesn't sound what it did 10 years ago. That's because of those coming up who influenced it.
And all that came from gospel music.
Mm-hmm.
But before hip hop, it was the
every form of American music is from Black culture. Don't let no one lie to you.
True. Elvis won't tell you that.
Blacks didn't start heavy metal, but they started rock. So, you know, you can't say, Ozzy Osbourne kind of started heavy metal, but who started rock? Chuck Berry, not Elvis. You know.
And it all came from gospel music. That's why they used to tell the youngins that's the devil music. Yeah, y'all going out to Hollywood and all of this to play the devil music.
You know,
hey, a brother had a song back then, KT, about selling his soul on the crossroads.
I say you can have a jingle. Anything God can do, I can do better, but he really can't.
They even got the devil's chord.
Hey, I had a weird thought the other day. What if God didn't want us to hate Satan? We're not supposed to hate him, right? That wouldn't be God's MO. Still his child. Well,
personally, I think
he's exempt because he got billions of bodies. I mean, all these rappers talking shit, they got bodies. They don't got shit on Satan.
You see, me personally, when I got my faith, I learned that anything that we do was meant to be.
Exactly.
Because if if the Most High didn't want it to happen, then nobody would hate. Nobody. But hate is here. Everything is here. How could you appreciate love without hate? Good without evil? You need these things to understand.
It's kind of like a balance. It's kind of like a balance each other out. Makes sense.
Right. Because if we didn't die, we wouldn't be careful with how we live. We wouldn't even appreciate our life.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it all is: duality, life and death, light and dark. Even you have to have a Satan figure because you have a all love, all good. So you need all bad, all evil.
Everything in life has the opposite. That is so true.
Right.
Exactly.
Love, hate, up, down.
Look, God made you perfect enough that your arms and legs and ears and eyes, they all match enough. They might not be perfect, but they match enough that it's not obvious.
Because one wouldn't exist without the other. Is if the Most High gave us free will, we have to have something to choose from, because we have to. The Most High gave us the opportunity to have the free will to choose to believe in Him and have faith in Him, but it has to be something else. If you don't choose to believe in that, it's something else.
That's the thing though. We got free will, so why these people also mad at God? you're gonna hate for God. If God did this, he would.
I think a lot of it is people don't know where they fit in. Yeah, people don't know where they fit in, but I know personally speaking, it was easier for me to fall out of faith with everything that happened with Catholicism within the last 20 years. I was already losing my faith, and then to hear things like that, it gave me the easy.
You got to think about like this: Catholicism is all bad. A lot of the perversions of the church and the practices, that's where it comes from. Think about like this.
And that's what a lot of people are going through. There were 2 million or 2 billion.
They call Paul their first pope, but how was Paul? He died 300 years before the Catholic cult. That's what I call them because they are a cult existed. If you look behind, like put it this way, how was the cult? I mean, how are they tied to Hitler? And it's not a conspiracy theory. They actually work with Hitler. Rwanda's genocide. They're there too.
Yeah, there's a pope. I can't remember his name. The pope at the time basically is like, oh, it's okay. Like, and so, man, I'm paraphrasing, but
that's all part of free will. Like, do you have faith in the Most High or faith in Catholicism?
You're right, Frankie. Because at the end of the day,
that's the good point. That's the good point.
You're right, Frankie.
And faith is what it's all about, really. I mean,
that's it.
Believing in something bigger than yourself, believing in something you can't see, smell, touch, or taste is hard for humans. We like to have something physical. Even if I say, hey, here's a paycheck, that paper paycheck don't feel as good in your pocket as the cash.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's
I was about to say that too, like about the paper paycheck. Like you believe your paycheck is going to be there next week, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
You believe your light's going to turn on when you hit the light.
Yeah, we have faith in plenty of things. Great, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what separates us from the animals is our faith in a higher power.
Mm-hmm.
Because we wouldn't even care about being not killing, and animals don't think about killing is bad or good.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. Like, the human experience is consciousness. That's what makes us where we're at on the food chain and everything. It's that we're conscious and self-aware.
But in a way, it's like it's proven statistic where IQ is a lot lower than it was 50 years ago, 30, 20 points, some as high as 40 points, where Americans are so domesticated where not all, where people are just trained to act like animals. For instance, I'll give you a perfect example. The bull will only mate with a heifer so many times and he gets tired, he has to move on to another one. Sound familiar?
Right.
A dog will go around and fuck anything.
Right.
My bad, I lost my language. You know what I mean? It sound familiar?
Right. Right.
And then you think about animals raising their rear ends in the air, trying to entice the male animal. Sound familiar? Sound like twerking?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like Satan knows what he's doing with his new world order. Like he's really
we all do that. You get a brand new, you want to go try to pick up a chick, you dress nice, you get your hair cut, you hop in a nice car. Same thing as a peacock throwing his feathers. You know, those beautiful feathers we see on a peacock, that's a male. That's the male.
That's so true. That is so true.
Oh, somebody said what God and the King James Bible killed more than Satan. Well,
that's my issue. That's where my issue comes in.
But I always tell people like this: the King James Bible, that's the Torah. So the Old Testament is put into the King James Bible with the New Testament. The God of the Old Testament is the one who does all the killing. That's the Torah. That's not the New Testament. Yeah. Well, you know, it's like the Torah is something we can read to see all the mistakes that the people of God and all of these people made. They made all of these mistakes before, you know, they was enlightened by, you know, Emmanuel,
their prophet,
Messiah, or whatever whatever have you. So you have to put the past. That's like history now. We speak about Alexander the Great, Caesar, and everybody's trying to emulate them by trying to conquer the world. But what it's telling us is they failed and they men and they died. And after they died, that the empire divided and people fought amongst each other.
They were nothing but a story. Mm-hmm.
Right. So people see the glory in the story that you want to conquer the world, but they don't see that nobody can ever conquer the world. It's just going to end in chaos. Yeah. The civilizations are just going to fall.
Yeah, it's been my discrepancies too sometimes, Frank. It's like I feel like there's two different gods in the Bible, but you also have to understand that's looking at the Bible as a chronological, you know, history book, which it's not. If I was doing that, then I could say there's two different gods, but it could be Yeah, I mean, when I say two different gods, I mean how they act, how they're, as you said,
Want
the
to know?
New
Want to know
Testament
something
gods are
really
the
cool about
same.
my bad? I mean, control. Want to know something really cool about the Bible? It really self-interprets itself.
Right.
If you look at it though, like the Bible really
Mhm.
answers itself. If you have a question about the Bible, there's a verse in the Bible that the Bible is like so exact. Matter of fact, the Bible is like the first science book ever made.
Right.
There's a verse where it says he sits upon the circle of the whole earth. It didn't say it was flat, not the Lego block, not the Dorito. It says circle for all you
That
flat
is a
earthers
good
out there.
point, though.
But
That
what
is a good
people
point, 'cause
gotta,
even if you don't understand something, you can find it through a different passage in the Bible.
but people gotta realize it's one creator, one most high, it's many gods. It's
Yes.
many gods in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So when you say the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament, is only one creator. You feel what I'm
But
saying?
there's only one living and breathing God though. That's the difference
But
though.
what you gotta
But
remember
there are many gods, small G gods though.
What you gotta remember is that is about the people who's brought the message. We learn from the Most High through other people who interpreted whatever message they got and all of that. So it's up to us to have the power of discernment to know that this right here is the ways of man.
How it is. AKT. I mean, you don't gotta answer. It's kind of a personal question. You went to Pentecostal churches before?
I might have. I don't I didn't when I went to a lot of churches when I was young, so I never knew.
Because that's how you come across and you sound when you talk about the Holy Spirit. Then I can sense where like you're kind of like you got somewhat like your potential isn't fully awakened. You got like a spirit of a preacher in you. You could tell like the things you say.
Well, it's funny because my pops told me that they used to call him. They used to think he was going to be a preacher, but he started drinking too much. But I did that in my family. Like I found on social, like on the internet, I found like my family had a church since like the late 1700s, and it's on our land and all that. Like so yeah, when I was studying my family and all that, I found all of this stuff out. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I think my family was more Baptist, I think, but I'm not sure because I didn't really know about the different denominations when I was a kid. I was just going to church. You feel me?
You're just going to church.
You know what else?
Exactly.
You know what else it is? There's a book in the Bible. I think it's I remember which book is that, but where it says, "I'll pour out my spirit upon all flesh."
Right.
And he's talking about in the last days, I'll pour out my spirit upon all flesh. You think about the so-called spiritual awakening people are having right now. Let you know how serious times we are in right now, people.
Yeah, and it's funny what you said Pentecostal because it's called the Pentecost when you get that awakening.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, nowadays there's so many churches. It's like you kind of just, all right, this one's boring. Want to go to this one? You know what I mean? You try something different. Okay, this is the same message, but I feel.
You know what you do? You know what you do? It's the same as how America only works right when you go by the Constitution. It puts everybody on the same level playing field. The churches got their own doctrine. It's got the Bible. Did they go by this? Or are you doing that? Or they just have their own way? Yeah, I know the Bible says this, but I think it would be better if we do it this way. No, that's not how it works. You can't do better than the one who spoke the world into existence.
But we also got to have, like I said, the power of discernment. We can't just have blind faith and God told you to go slaughter all of those people in that village. You know what I'm saying?
People sit up in the wrong church thinking that they're saved or everything. Then they get before God and be like, "What did you mean?"
That's such a good point, Quincy. It's like we can't go out. We can't go out massacring in God's name anymore because of the laws of the land. So we don't. But it's like, but people will run to the Bible for other laws of the land.
Yeah, but
do you know what I'm saying?
Old Testament is eye for eye. New Testament is turn the other cheek. You feel
me? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, eye for an eye and then turn the other cheek. Yeah, exactly.
It's like two different covenants, pretty much.
Right. Because somebody was, somebody in the past in the Torah, like I said, somebody was lying back then, and somebody had to come correct that.
Because you couldn't really complete.
I always believed it was Emmanuel. The New Testament is more like Emmanuel's. I'll call him as King Troll calls him, but the Christ figure. I feel like the New Testament is more. Obviously, he's not really mentioned a ton in the Old. You know what I mean?
Actually, yes. He mentioned a lot on
other than the coming, the coming prince, the chosen one, so to speak. But that's what I'm saying. Other than that, the New Testament is basically the life of Jesus, the life of those around Jesus, the life of the original followers and things of that.
Yeah. It's a good story. Like those, it's great stories, but I always say, don't get caught up in the story. Concentrate on the message. The message is what never changes. The story can change.
And that's so funny.
Man can
It's so
rewrite
funny
the
people take
story,
it
change
serious.
the story, but the message is the same.
It's kind of like how I walked to Kenzo with a lottery ticket, but I got holes in my shoes. I got one size 8 Nike, the other size 12 whatever Tim's, holes in my trench coat. I smell like dirty pickles and hot dog water.
I'm dead.
But then I had a gazillion dollar lottery ticket though,
Right.
Congratulations. All he's gonna remember is congratulations and the lottery ticket or some shit. It's about the message, not the messenger. Is the point.
Exactly. I always say that. It's like if somebody come to me, a killer, a savage, and somebody come to me that's a great person, they did everything right. If the great good person is telling me the wrong thing, negative thing, and a savage killer is telling me the right thing, I'm going to listen to the message and not the message.
Facts.
It's just crazy to me. People take it so literal, and there's literally a tagline: "The greatest story ever told." It's literally a tagline of the book, and people still take it literal. It's like Aesop's fables, for example. We don't think that there's a real mermaid. We think that the lesson is be happy where you're at. Don't go jumping out into the world till you're ready. Things that it's people just
speak for yourself, sir. People really believe in mermaids.
Well, sure, yeah.
It's true. I've heard it. It's
true. people be believing in, and they believe in. It's funny that people believe.
I'm gonna refresh, King. KT, I'm gonna refresh.
It's funny people believe in things they never seen and don't believe in things.
Like the Bible's
a book.
The Bible's a book where like using what the book Kenzo said, 8 fairy tales. You can pick up and read. You can get to pretty much just what it means, what it says. But the Bible, unless you got the spirit of discernment, you got spiritual eyes, unless God open your eyes, you're not gonna get anything. You can say you read it from front to back, but unless God opened your eyes to see it, though, you're not gonna get it though. Like there's some of us could look at any Bible verse. Okay, this is what it means. It don't matter what it is. You can't contradict it. You can't lie on it or nothing because it's spirit of discernment. This is what it means. No, this is exactly what it means. You know what I mean?
But anything you read, if you're looking for the negative in it, that's what's in your heart.
That's what you're gonna find. Exactly.
That's what you're gonna find. Like you gotta find a positive message. That's what you gotta look for. All that other stuff, that's on you. You got the free will to choose if you want to believe that, or you want to believe, the things that's gonna be good and prosperous for your life or for civilization or and things of that nature. If you want to focus on the on the other stuff, that's on you.
Exactly. Only 24 hours in a day.
Right.
How are you investing them hours? What are you doing with them hours?
It's like looking at a movie. Some people if you read a comic book, some people like the heroes, some people like the villains.
That's a good point. That's that freedom of choice.
Right. Free will. That's what it's all about, baby.
That's why we're all different. We're all unique and special.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you got life and death. I tell people all the time, you can check out anytime you want.
Wouldn't life be boring? Everybody was the same. Everybody ate the same cereal, wore the same clothes. Oh, wait a minute. People do that. It's part of the agenda. It's part of the agenda.
Yeah, you'd be living in the gray, so to speak. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. I laugh at a lot of people who be telling me about these material things and all of this. It's people who's in this world that never seen lights, TV. They never seen none of this, and they live in a happy life. They the shit, and you can't tell them they not. You feel
like you don't stand before God and be like, hold on, Jesus. Would you like to take a ride in my Lambo? It's pretty cool.
I bet then people from the third world countries would find fun in things we'd be looking at them like. Even in Tarzan stories, when he makes his way to New York City, he's a fish out of water. You know what I mean? Whoa, what's that? What's it? You'd be seeing that, and they'd be getting fun out of, a ball. And we'd be like, hey, wait, you don't want to get on the phone?
Y'all ever heard of the Sentinel Islands?
Yeah, don't go there, people.
I love those people. If you come close to
there.
Yeah, if you come close to their shore, they start throwing spears at you. You could have $10 billion.
Yeah.
If you get too close, they're going to throw a spear right through your heart.
It's believed that they killed and cannibalized a Rockefeller.
Well, I'm not going to even do the whole cannibalized thing. You know?
That's what I'm saying, allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know what them people doing over there, but whatever they doing, they want to hold on to how they living, and they don't care what other people is telling them is a better life.
You know what's crazy about them people? They didn't catch COVID and they didn't get that thing. That's what's crazy about them. How did that happen?
No one came out of ring, you know?
It's because we are not natural humans no more. Like, we've been domesticated, as you said. So we bring we'll bring diseases to those people. Like, we'll bring diseases to those people. That's what happened.
They believe it came to America in the first week. Like, as soon as it happened in China, they believe someone left China and came to America that first week. That's not happening. They're throwing arrows at you before you even get near the beach.
We all know what really happened. Like, they're pretty much talking about they knew who the patient zero was.
Yeah, that's exactly. They knew exactly who it was, where they moved. If you remember SARS back in the day, it was the same thing. They were hunting down people on flights.
You got to realize those people.
You know what's crazy about?
Wait, hold on. Those people don't have hospitals. They don't have none of that, and they still live.
Yep.
They still survive. My bad, John. Go ahead.
You know what's crazy? Because I know there's some things you still can't say, but we're in a free country. Rah, rah, rah. July 4th. It's coming up, people. Drink your beer, barbecue. Rah, rah, rah. Celebrate freedom. Proud to be an American. What I was going to say is that part of the spike protein, one of the viruses that makes up is the SARS-CoV-1.
Mm-hmm.
SARS-CoV-2 is.
But to John, when you were saying earlier, like the IQ is lowering and shit, don't you think like schooling has a lot to do with that? Like, even look at Common Core math. That's 20 years ago.
Today's schools, put it this way, kids in China, their schools and grade schools or whatever, they're learning trigonometry. Our children are learning how to be a boy or a girl, you know.
Right. Inspection, salute. But you know the difference.
They're watching pornographic videos.
The difference between us and them is now we have the power to educate our own children.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can homeschool and things of that. Yeah.
And if you're a dumb parent, you still got the internet.
Yeah.
I know, right?
No, it's a huge advantage because kids in our generation didn't have that. You had kids who couldn't read because their parents couldn't read.
Hey, Jimmy, make sure you thank Google for helping you with your homework again. You're the best, Dad.
Thanks, Google.
I don't know how these kids, if I was in school, I'd be cheating on that. What?
I'd have straight A's. I could
have my phone in my pocket and talk to Siri and have my earbuds in, like, yo, Siri, what's MC equals MC squared?
Yeah. These kids take tests like we used to study. The way we used to study, they take tests that way. I see my kid with a laptop in their book, and I'm like, what are you taking a test? I'm like, you ain't taking a test. You mean taking notes? He's like, no, this is the test. I'm like, so you could just search the answers.
That's it.
The internet goes down.
Even when we were kids, we had that. We just were dumb. We were too dumb to realize that if you read the story, you would understand every question. We just didn't want to read the story.
Right.
If the internet went down, which is one of their things that they are considering, by the way, internet went down, people are screwed. People can't even read the analog clock these days.
Yeah.
How you not know what an analog clock? They can't write cursive. But boys know how to be girls and girls know how to be boys.
Right.
The little boy can learn.
Not even the internet. If YouTube shut off, some people commit suicide.
Some people on here for sure.
What's going on? I gotta know what's happening next.
Yeah, they will have no life. Some people's life is on social media. Like, that's their life. They don't have no life. They alienated all their friends and family.
You'd have a pigeon fly to your house.
And they're on YouTube 24/7.
Yeah.
You ever notice, like, there's certain names you might click on a live, you might just see who's live sometimes. Doesn't mean you'll go to it. But no matter what, random times of the day. But there's certain names you see nobody here, but there's certain names that you see all the freaking time in the internet.
Right.
I said it's funny too, because it's like King Troll had a long live one time. 24 hours, we said, but it was like purpose. It was like, we're going to be on for 24 hours so we could show we can do it. Other than that, it's like, if if he did an 8-hour live, it would be like, oh, like the other day, for instance, like that one was crazy, but it was like 4 different shows in one. So it was easy to fly through 8 hours. But I'll see some people and you go through their channel and it's like 10, 12, 10.
Like
I'm like, you're live for 10 to 12 hours every day.
I see some lives where like the panel's cooking, the chat's on point where it just ends up going longer and longer. You might lose track of time, whatever, or just making a point, or you might be in heated conflict. Though sometimes you can't just end the live in heated conflict. You know, rounds are so far.
That's what happens with me. Like sometimes
I was gonna say.
Sometimes time just be flying. Like, you know, I'll get up there for 2 hours by myself and then I'll drop the link and then another 3-4 hours pass. It's 6 hours. You know
but like I'm wrapping it up, everybody, and then new people get on the panel and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
That's what happened the other day. I'm like, oh, you still live? Cool. Bet.
Man. But I like to interact. I like to, you know, because I got a mission and a message, and I feel like, you know, I put things out there, you know, as best as I could. I don't know who it's for and all that, but hopefully somebody hears something and learns something. So I feel like I accomplished something.
Even if you reach one,
for the day,
right? Even if you reach one, I still mission accomplished.
Right.
And yeah, it's I always say that whatever your original mission is on here could change things like that. Like for you, for someone who's coming on here and you're saying specifically, I'm trying to spread this message, 10-hour live should be good because we want you to be on as long as possible spreading the message.
And I don't have
the same thing. I came on to kind of understand people a little more for a little bit of humor. That's like why I do lives, to kind of pick people's brains and see people from different areas. So it's like a long live would make sense for me, but it's like if you're just up there starring drama, you don't need 10-hour lives. Do a 3-hour live and wrap it up.
And I don't have a job or nothing like that, so you know this keep me out of trouble. I'll probably be outside getting myself in trouble. Yeah, and listen, financially I'm good. So you know I don't really need a job, but if I'll need a job, I'll definitely go out.
Turn me off.
I'll definitely go out and get a job if I need a job. But right now, I don't need no job. I'm good. But thanks for y'all out there who be caring about if I have a job.
They worry.
I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I appreciate y'all.
I see where people had lives, right? Drama, nothing but drama. 8 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, somebody else does a 2-hour live, same drama, same people. Stuff. They got to respond. Then the other person responds. They're going back and forth. Then they'll go at it for like a week. Then the next week it's on to a new storyline.
Yeah, it's content.
Sometimes the length of them videos takes me right out of it. I seen a video the other day, it was about Ice Cube, something about Ice Cube. And I was like, seems interesting. I'll check that out. I click it. It's a 10-hour live. I'm like, no, like I'm not, that sucks. Now I'm not going to watch it. And then I realized I thought it was a bigger channel and it was people that we know, even from the troll page, were up there. So I'm like, okay, this is something in the community, but I'm like, 10 hours, you just lost me. I don't care what you could say. If I know this information, I'd win $1 million, and I'm not. I don't care. If this video should be 13 minutes, that's it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Some people go to work for 10 hours, 16 hours. They do a 16-hour shift and all of that.
Yeah.
So me or being on social media for 10 hours and all that, like I look at it as like if I had a job or something. You feel what I'm saying?
True.
No wrong with that.
Even though I'm not really getting paid.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's where the difference comes.
As long as you're having fun, like I think you do this more for your hobby and the spread of message than anything else.
Yeah. Right. And it keeps me out of trouble.
That's the thing, though. Instead of doing it for the drama, do it because it's fun, because you like to do it, a hobby or something.
And it keep me out of trouble.
If your hobby is drama, then more power to you. Good luck with that.
I'm a certain type of way. I'm a very loyal friend, and I'm a certain type of way. So if I'm somewhere and something happened, I'll get caught up in a moment and I'm ready to die and all of that in the moment. Like I don't think about, I don't think about my loved ones and my life and all that. So I try to keep myself away from certain places where I can get into certain things.
I know what you mean. Yep.
With certain people. You know what I'm saying?
See, I come around channels like this because you need a woosa. You need like people that are solid people that you respect, and they're not gonna tell you no bullshit. Where they're not gonna tickle your ears either. They're gonna tell you, because sometimes I'm like, man, he's right. I'm doing that shit. I gotta correct myself. You can't get mad at the messenger. but the message is for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta look at the man in the mirror. How are anybody going to grow?
Right.
If they're their own worst self-critic. I mean, a positive self-critic though. And some people take it too far. Man, I'm my 600-pound life. You know? Some people take it too far.
And you know, I come from a certain type of lifestyle where my phone ring is always somebody needing me to. It's drama or something like that. So sometimes I'll be on here, my phone ringing, and I don't answer it, or I text, I'm busy, you know what I'm saying? And it feel good, like, because if I answer it, I'm the type of person that's gonna be there. You feel what I'm saying?
That's exactly. I get that 100%. That's the same way with me. It's like when I'm not working and I could be online, just sitting in my living room. Why shouldn't I? Compared to like going out and doing something stupid, or even given the opportunity to do something stupid. It's like, I'm cool here. My kids, I know where my family is. You know, my bills are paid. I'm good.
Because my people, a lot of my peoples, they don't like that I'm busy. Like, and I started learning some of y'all don't really care about me. Y'all just know I'm a ride or die type of individual. Like, I'll drop everything and I'm always there. But now when I say I'm busy, or I can't, y'all feel some type of way. Like, all of the shit I done did, all of the work I done put in, when I say no one time, now you feel some type of way. So I'm learning a lot of stuff, man. I'm learning a lot of stuff.
Instead of being like all the time you're in the corner, they could have been like, anything I can help you with though? All right then.
Exactly.
I'll talk to you later or something.
That's why I said sometimes it takes 10 years to find out who a friend really is. Like, it took me 20. You know, my best friend, my daughter's godfather. One day I just said, yo, this dude takes and takes and takes and never gives. What are you my friend for? Like, and that was it. I had to cut him off for a bit.
A lot of friendships is one-sided.
But
and then I got another friend where it's like he gives, and I'm like, I'm trying to force him to take. You know, it's like we meet up and he's like, want to go get lunch? And it's like, no.
Don't you hate that? Don't you hate friends? I mean, you don't hate their friends, but you know they're cool people. But don't you hate that though?
No, I'm like that, man.
I'm like that a lot of times too. But
I feel insulted sometimes when people do that though.
Nah, I know. I got friends like you. We always clash, man. But we the best of friends. But they be like, man, KT, man, let me do something for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, the one day my man Eric, bro, this dude ordered pizza, bought a PlayStation. Because we were like, let's play PlayStation. Oh, the PlayStation's broke. All right, we'll go buy one. So it was like just to hang out that day. He ordered out. He bought a PlayStation. He was like, and I'm like, dude, let us, like, that was lunch. Let us order dinner. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus. But some people just like to give.
Well, I'm learning to receive
I get it.
now. Pause. Now, if somebody be like, oh, KT, you want to, I'll be like, all right. They be like, for real? Yeah. For real.
I don't like to receive gifts.
They be shocked.
Yeah, I hate receiving stuff, bro. I do. I hate like gifts and holidays. My daughter made me a Father's Day card, hand drawn. It was real cute. I love that more than any card or gift you could have bought me. I'm not a fan of gifts because then I feel obligated to buy you something better.
Exactly.
That's why I be funny
I'm
about
not a materialistic person at all.
That's why I be funny about the cash apps. I'll be like, damn, somebody send me a cash app. Now they feel like I owe them something. I had to learn that people is just trying to support. Well,
no,
for the most part, some people is trying to extort instead of support.
You got my cash out, right?
Yeah, for the most part, though, I know when I've contributed, it's because you're providing content. Like John said, there's so much fuck shit. When we see the good shit, we should take care of people. Like that's what, like Coach Al, that's why he supports you. Me, that's just who Al is. You know what I mean? He said, all right, this ain't bullshit. I'm gonna support it.
Well, thanks for speaking of cash apps. I looked at my cash app. Frankie Blanco, salute. Appreciate the cash app. If you still there, my brother. I'm glad I didn't see that tomorrow or after I got off the live. But salute to you, my brother. Appreciate it.
My notifications are weird on there too, KT. I don't know if I said that in the chat earlier. I don't get mine until I open the app.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I do. I gotta open the app. I don't get notifications.
I don't know what that is.
When I do certain shows, I leave it open for that reason because I'm like, I'm the same way. I like to thank people more than once, thank them immediately, and it's like, yo, Murph, I sent you something. And I'm like, all right, hold on, I gotta leave the live to go to, like, it's just a pain.
Right. Yeah, I got mine open right now, but sometimes I forget, and I don't even look at the damn phone. I got more than one phone.
But like I said, with you, it's different. You provide content. You provide something. So I know people that if we're giving cash out to people in drama, this is something I'd feel my money.
Keep the drama going. Keep the show going. Keep destroying each other.
Yo, I've seen it. People will come up and say, "Oh, I need money for drugs," and they'll get it. You know what I mean? And it's like, then you got a guy on here like, oh, "I need money for a surgery." Well, so sorry. Have a good day.
Respect and salute.
And that's a beautiful thing, bro. When like John spoke on it,
you sure to drink on English?
Yeah, exactly. But John spoke on it a little bit earlier. Like when you can help somebody, like you don't even know, we don't even really know each other, but you get a good feeling out of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Times people needed help that I could help. I felt great, and I'm still friends with people because of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or associates, whatever we're using.
And I'm about to drop down though, but KT, I'll give you like examples. So like I run into people all the time, whether it was something I was sharing elsewhere or content or something I said to them online or offline. Oh, thanks for telling me that, brother, or whatever. You know, because you never know who your message resonates with, though. You know,
right?
Just because you may not, because we're used to other people. They base things everything where other people are like. Well, I'll use YouTube for example. Everything is clicks and views. That's their currency. You know, it's not the satisfaction of knowing you did something good for somebody. You know.
Right.
They don't get that warm feeling. So you never know who you're reaching, you know, because I just gave you a perfect example where things you have said where you've inspired me to do better. You know what I mean?
All praises to the Most High, my brother.
Praises to the Most High, and God gets all the glory.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Shout out Kenzo.
Salute,
shout
brother.
out KT.
Salute. Appreciate you, John. Salute.
Appreciate you too. All right, I'm out.
Man, that's a great point right there. You never know who you're inspiring. And I know what John means because there's things you've said I catch myself doing, you know, online and stuff like that.
Hey, listen, this message comes from the Most High. It's things I've said that made me have to think about what I'm doing. So,
they're the best lives.
All praises to the Most High, man.
The best lives are when you end and you go, how the hell did I do that? Was that me? Like, you know what I mean? You didn't even feel like I was killing it. Damn, was that
it wasn't me? Yeah, it was the Most High. That's why I always give all praises to the Most High, man.
I said, them little simple things like you said, a Cash App, yo, good show. Little things like that, man, they can mean a lot to people.
Yeah.
Like I've had shows where I end it and people would, like Larry Beach will message me, yo, great show, bro. You guys were killing it. You feel good about that. You know what I mean? You're like, cool, I know I reached one person.
Right. But you know, I'm about to wrap it up, and I'm about to go to where y'all know where.
Oh shit! Take the elevator down. We're going to hell. I'll see you over there, bro. Great conversation. Great conversation.
Salute. Appreciate
you.
Bro. Appreciate the chat. Salute to y'all. We out of here.